Good morning and welcome back to the Coffee Vanners. Today's going to be a different video because I want to talk about vlogging on a budget. And when I say a budget, I mean the lowest of the low, what you can get away with. Good quality video, decent quality sound, up on YouTube, edited and really doing what I consider to be a fairly reasonable job for not a lot of money. So just before I start this video, I'd just like to add a little disclaimer that all these products that I'm talking about I've personally bought retail. None of the items are sponsored. Any links that I put in the bottom are not affiliate links, so this is purely stuff that I've bought and I'm giving you the links so you can have a look at the reviews and generally look at products that are the same or similar. Thank you. So the first thing, as I said, from my priority, I always thought that we need to have good quality sound more than anything else. I got my Samsung Galaxy Note 8 about 3 years ago, and I realized at that point that the video quality, 1080p video, was enough to produce fairly decent stuff from your phone. So I stopped using what was then my Kodak waterproof digital video camera, and I'll put a link in the description if I can find the video. It is on YouTube somewhere, of a video that my partner took while we were out on the motorbike. The quality is good, but the sound was absolutely awful. From start to finish, the sound was unbearable, so we actually stuck some sort of music over the top of the ride out. Prior to that, I was using digital videotapes. Prior to that, it was VHS tapes, and before that, it was Cine 8. So I've been kind of videoing stuff for quite a while, but I don't see the point in spending massive amount of money on what is essentially a way of documenting our travels and things that we do. So when I got the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, I started looking at how I could use that to record videos, and I bought two items. The first was to try and enable to have the camera far enough away but still within range where I could record decent sound and for it to be relatively stable. So I bought one of these, and it cost me about £10, £12, something like that. It's a basic selfie stick with a tripod that I could put down, adjust the camera and press the button and start to record video, or I could hold up, push away, point in the opposite direction and use to get the pictures that I wanted. There's only one problem with these: stability. And stability's always been a problem with video cameras and phones, and people talk about steady cams and gimbals and all sorts of other things. So yeah, so that I started with that, and that was really my selfie stick. But alongside it, I bought this, a little lavalier mic, and this is the Boya BY-M1, which is probably one of the cheapest lavalier mics you can buy. They're still on Amazon now for under £50. I'll put all these details in the description below so you can have a look on Amazon and the reviews and all the other things if you want to. This works with both a standard DSLR camera with a mic input and a phone. It has the TTRS connector for the phone, but it also has a little battery pack, and you just switch it over to camera and it works fine with a normal digital video camera. The reason I bought this as opposed to the Rode lavalier mic is because the cable is horrendously long, so I could actually set the camera up quite a distance away from myself and still use this little lavalier mic. Yeah, so we kind of, and that was basically me. So for the price of £15 for the microphone, £10–12 for the selfie stick, that was me up and running, and that was great. But we went on a holiday and we captured some pretty shaky footage, so we thought it was time to take a step up. And I'll just grab the other camera if you bear with us a second. Let's see what we can see on this. And let's put it onto autofocus. It is. And because it's behind the light, it's going to be quite difficult to see. But that now is my vlogging setup. It consists of a very, very cheap tripod stand, which cost, I think, about £12. The microphone is the Boya BYMM1, which is similar to the Rode Video Micro. In fact, it looks identical to the Rode Video Micro. The sound is slightly different, but I class sound as being subjective. So it depends on who you are and what you're listening to as to whether you think the sound's good or bad. But I think it does a good job in recording fairly reasonable audio. And the good thing that it has over the Video Micro from Rode is that it comes with both the TRS for a normal camera, and I did have it lying around here somewhere, but also the TTRS cable for your telephone as well. So you can use the microphone with both a camera or a video camera, which for me was absolutely perfect. Right, the next thing that I bought, which I thought was really an additional extra, was the tripod really gives a different level of stability, and depending on what you buy depends on how stable things are. So whether you think it's worth buying a full-sized tripod or a mini tripod or even something even smaller than that, and this is an example of it, a tiny little tripod that, yes, it'll hold things steady, but it will hold things steady inside. I wouldn't even dream of using that outside, purely because there's no strength in it. It's cheap flimsy plastic. But this actually came as an accessory with the gimbal that I'm using, and the gimbal I'm using is the Moser Mini Me. Now, I bought this gimbal for several reasons. The first reason was it has 10-hour battery life, and within that 10-hour battery life you can double click the power button and it will also start to wirelessly charge the Galaxy Note 8 whilst it's being used. So in effect, the charger on the back of the gimbal can be plugged into a power bank, so you're constantly charging your gimbal and your phone at the same time, so you're not actually losing any power as you're filming. So I saw that as a massive bonus. So that was the first reason that I bought it. The second reason was that it has attachments, so you can put the microphone or the hot shoe mount onto the gimbal, and it will fit in, I think, 1, 2, 4 different places. So you can fit it on top of where the phone is, on the back, on the side, or on the bottom. So that was a big advantage, was that the microphone wasn't going to be a problem. It could still be attached and it would still be stable. So whilst you're walking, you can face the microphone in either direction, you can swipe so the camera's in either direction, and you're still getting those really smooth images that you get from a gimbal. Now, the gimbal itself, the Moser Mini Me, retails now at about £80, I think. So it's not a massive amount of money to spend on something that's really solid and giving you good quality pictures, especially when you're moving. Another feature on the gimbal is that it will do face tracking and panoramics. So you can set up these really nice time-lapse videos where it will move from one point to another. And because it has the standard tripod mount on the bottom, you can actually put that on top of a tripod as well. So you're getting you've got the sturdiness of a proper tripod, and you've got the features of having a gimbal, so you can get those time lapses, you can get those panoramics, and you've only paid sort of £70. That's been an absolute godsend for me, and this is my go-to vlogging kit. So in total, £70 for the gimbal, uh, £25 for the microphone, and £10 for the tripod, and that is all I've spent. All the other stuff that I have, I've bought not necessarily for vlogging. I bought it before I started vlogging, so it was stuff that I bought because I wanted to take photographs, and that includes my Canon 700D, which for anybody who can remember back in the day, that was the Canon Rebel T5i, I think it was. It's still available today on places like eBay for a couple of £100. It's not a brilliant. It's a crop sensor camera. It's not brilliant for videos. It doesn't have an image stabilized or a quiet lens. It's not got the STM lens on it, so it's not particularly quiet. So it makes it okay for doing pictures, but not great if you're recording audio, unless you're using a lavalier mic, because of the noise that the lens makes whilst it's focusing in and out. On top of that, I've just recently bought, and I've got the camera on it now. I don't know if this is in a camera on it. Let's see if I can move that down. I have this on a K&F Concepts tripod, and the tripod I bought purely for the gimbal. It was just, we were out in Turkey, and we were sat in a little bar by the sea, by the marina, and boats were coming in and out, and I said to Ali, it'd be nice just to take some time lapses of this. And when I put it on the small tripod that I've got, it was just not quite at the level above the railing. So when I came back, I bought the K&F Concept tripod, which is small, it's light, it's something I can take on holiday with us, and because the gimbal's got the thread on the bottom, I can just put the gimbal on top of the tripod, and I can do everything that I need to do with that. And that wasn't really expensive, £50 for a decent quality tripod. K&F have a really good name, so you know, I thought it was worth investing. I'm not a camera guy, you know, I'm not into photography in a big way, so I'm kind of bought stuff based on reviews of things that I've read and seen, and I haven't spent a lot of money. The only thing that I did spend a little bit of money on, and this has its ups and its downs, is the Insta360 One X. This is a little gem, really is a little gem. 360 camera, it records 5.7K video, and takes absolutely fabulous still photos. So if you follow me on Instagram at alsworldin360, you'll see some of my tiny planets and little 360 videos that I've stuck on Instagram. It has been well used. I think I've put up over a couple of thousand photos on Google Street View from places that I've been, and it's got its downside, and its major downside, as it is with all action cameras, is sound. Sound is absolutely atrocious, and I know the release earlier this year of the Insta360 One R and the GoPro 360 earlier have made a difference, but I still don't think that the 360 cameras are anywhere near as good as a phone and a microphone, but they are a nice little toy. And these are still, well, it's discontinued now. Insta360 decided they were going to put their weight behind the 1R, and a new 360 camera that's coming out, we believe, or is being reported as being the end of this year, early 2021. But it's still a good quality camera. You can still get your 1080p video from what is essentially, you know, something that's 15 centimeters tall and about 3 centimeters wide, and it will hold up to 128K micro SD card in it as well. So that's a massive bonus. But if you're thinking of using any of it or buying any of the action cams, uh, the image stabilization in things like the GoPro, the Insta360, the Ricoh Theaters are absolutely top notch, and particularly Insta and GoPro aim themselves at video, so they are the go-to for action video. But the sound, I think, is absolutely a million miles away from where it needs to be. Great if you can add music to the background, but other than that, not really a camera that you could just use without any other recording methods. And that's basically it. That is my whole setup. I've not spent a fortune, as you can see. I think I've got it right with the sound. The video is 1080p. I still don't see really a need to record in 4K, since most people watch YouTube and Netflix and all the rest on their telephones, and they're not quite 4K ready yet. And 4K really isn't the standard. You know, I still don't have well, I do have a 4K telly in the front room, but that's it. Certainly don't in the caravan. And yeah, so that's my kind of look at my vlogging gear that I've got at the moment. Now, alongside the vlogging gear is how you're going to edit it and how you're going to upload it to YouTube. Now, I tend to try and do as much as I can on my telephone. So to do that, I have an app called KineMaster or KineMeister. I'll stick a link down below. It's available on both Android and in the Apple Store, and it has a free version, although I've got the bought version, and it does a cracking job in editing video, editing sound, color grading, sticking picture in picture or overviews or anything else you want to add to them. You can go as far as you like, but it means everything's done on the telephone. But when I am using the Canon camera, I take it upstairs to the PC into the office, and I'll download everything onto a hard drive and stick it all through a free package again called DaVinci Resolve. There are hundreds of videos on YouTube about DaVinci Resolve and the extent to which you can use it. It is at the moment, in August 2020, still free. So I'll stick a link again in the description where that can be downloaded. And that's basically it. That's my vlogging, what's in my camera bag, what I use to upload my YouTube videos, basically in a nutshell. So I'm going to call it quits. I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe, click the bell, like, share, and help support the channel would be really appreciated. So you take it easy out there. See you soon.